God bless my breath these days. Like too short to play on speed. Babylon goes so high to reach up. Done the bitch, they grind with stars come. Ran race on it, where the world from. Gotta say cheese, but say it's been in the fun. Living in the moment, I ain't worried about none. I'm straight chillin'. Back against the wall, too acquainted with the feeling. Seem like I lost the ball, find a way to go winning. Only fear God, not spending this lost children. Chris on my cash, spinning the 2 trillion. Doing side missions whenever I'm feeling. I'm built different, cruise, no ceiling. Sun shining on me, boy, I'm indifferent. Go!
Oh, you're kidding me. Ah, we're working. Hooray! Hooray, everyone says all at once. None of them meaning it, but we're all saying it once anyway. See if those work. Oh, that does work. Well, sort of. Fucking hell. Right, anyway, I only really came on. Well, I kind of forgetting why I came on now because the irritation of coming on. But I came on for like a mixed bag, really. Like happy and sad, I suppose. It's been a perfectly nice spring. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh, it's just really hot every day." It's not down in the south. It hasn't been really hot every day. It's just been pleasant spring, with a couple of days of summer sprinkled in. Now today we had a bit of rain about 2 nights ago, and it's just made the wind still, the air humid, and as a result, if it's 17 degrees now, which it's not, but if it was 17 degrees like this morning, I was walking around with a t-shirt on, feeling really, really hot, just because the air's filled. Hey, come here, Sue, come here. You haven't got a dog, have you? Oh, sorry. All right, baby. Yeah, just because the air's full of water and stuff. Good idea. Sorry. Yeah, with the air's full of water, it feels so much more warmer in that. And come on, this way, we can have a look. And God, you can tell the difference. So like I say, it was 17 this morning. I don't know what it is now. It's probably about 21, 22. It's not that hot, but if you go to the right places, it feels like about 25, 26. If you just get the right places, especially this morning, there's nowhere for the sweat to go. There's nowhere for the water to go. It was proper island weather. So yeah, even though it wasn't like the hottest part of the day, there was just, as you were getting hot walking over the field, there was nowhere for the sweat to go. So you were just couldn't breathe, all that kind of. But at the same time, I kind of enjoyed it because I've been waiting for it. Because the last week, everyone's been raving about the fucking weather, and every time the wind's blown, it's been a cold easterly wind, and it's frozen my nuts off. Other than a couple of nice days, but we've got them now. It's beautiful. But I just wanted to remind you, probably haven't seen this for a few years, but I used to show you down here a lot. Do you remember? They've changed the coastline. You probably won't notice it yourself, but they have changed the coastline. All that wood there makes it feel really claustrophobic down there now. But also as well, and it's like, how do I raise this issue that I'm about to talk about without sounding like a fucking racist? And especially with the way that we've been set up. Can you see in the distance there, the pollution? And just over there as well. You probably can't on camera. It's thick. Anyway, yeah, a lot of things don't come out on camera, so whether you'll see that or not, I don't know. It's like a south-easterly wind here. Anyway, come on, see this way. I keep walking into a dead end. Sorry, I'm trying to find a place for me and my dog to go. We're not going to get bothered, and I've got my stuff here as well, so it's a bit. Trouble is with this place, it's now been taken into part because it's a new forest. They've turned the new forest into a theme park, well, basically, or national park, which means that we used to get people outside. Come on, Sue, this way. Used to get people outside the new forest, but now you've got everybody knows of this place's existence, where it was like one of the best kept secrets in Britain. It's not if you go down there, it's not a sandy beach. You've got a bit of sand here and there. It's not the greatest of beaches. It's fucking great if you want some peace and quiet and you want to go swimming and everything. It's beautiful, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people want golden beaches. Oh, I'm walking away from my house. No, I'm not. Some people want golden beaches and that, but that makes it perfect. It's been one of the best kept secrets. Then they've added it to the, like I say, to the part of the New Forest National Park. As a result, along here, you used to have all natural trees all the way along. See these firs here? Those firs were all the way along this coastline, on all the way along this coastline used to be all these little it's a cliff basically, but it's not a big cliff. It's a cliff, but there's all these little tracks down there. Of course, once you make it a national park, health and safety, in a fucking forest. I'm not kidding. It probably sounds like I'm exaggerating, making a joke up, or I'm not. The moment they put the made it a national park, we had to worry about health and safety. Now everything's fenced off. Half the trees have been cut down in case they blow down in the wind, because this is a cliff and it's right opposite the sea where you get lots of wind. So just in case any of them falls down, hack the fucking lot down. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there's progress got to be made, but if you consider hacking things down progress, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, there's a place near me, it's a beautiful little pond, and that was hacked down, it looked awful, but the way it grows back is beautiful. That's not quite what I mean. They closed off all the fun ways of walking down the cliffs. Okay, not so fun for me at my age, but they were fun for kids. Yeah, they're a little bit dangerous, but guess what? Kids used to get knocks and bruises. There was nothing that was going to snap your kid's neck. Do you know what I mean? The worst that could have happened is I could have fallen and grazed their knee or something. You know, it's. I'll show you. It's not. I mean, you wouldn't want to fall off it, but I have jumped from the top of here. That won't probably surprise you actually. But don't get me wrong, it's a fair way down. But what you've got to understand is it's not a straight drop. It's an decline. So it actually goes out at an angle. So that looks quite far down. But if you imagine going down an angle, you literally couldn't jump off of here and land on that over there. You would bump off the ground as you go down. So yeah, and if anything, you'd probably get stuck somewhere on the way down. So come with me. So yeah, so they butchered. Where am I going with all this? And that's fine. And then over there, see where that fence area is there? Don't know where it is now, but where those two old people are, that area there was a barbecue place. And because you're not allowed to have naked flames anywhere. Yeah, you're probably the same around the country now, but you're not allowed to have naked flames anywhere, so you can't have a barbecue when you go camping. And if you see the campsites here, the campsites are all repurposed airfields from World War II. So they're tiny. They're really cool. The fact that they got that history to them. All these, if you don't know, in World War II, the reason the Polish are lauded so much is because the Polish had to fly our planes in the Battle of Britain. Why? Because the British airfields were targeted, and the pilots and the planes, but especially the pilots, were fucking killed. And we needed pilots, and the Polish helped more than help man planes that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to man. But in order to stop our planes and pilots getting bombed, what we did is we created this place in the forest. And if you go in the forest to go camping now, what you'll find is normally something that's in a really hard to explain. It's like a clover shape, but it's only got 3 clovers, if that makes sense. It's like sometimes 4, 3 or 4, but each end of the clover will open up into a circle. And that circle just happens to be just under the trees where you couldn't see a little plane. Each circle underneath a bunch of trees. So, and that part's concrete, and the rest of it's all grass around it, which is where you camp. So they're really, really small. But there's a lot of history around it. There's a history everywhere. Just over there, there's about 20 places between this here and that Isle of Wight there that have got to do with World War II. If you look at this place properly, this place is called Lepe, Lepe. Used to be one of the dirtiest beaches in Britain. It ended up being one of the cleanest. But there's a lot of war history here. There used to be a tower right in the middle of that water there, a massive great tower the Americans built for World War II. There's so much history here. And this is why, when I talk about the Isle of Wight, when I talk about this area here, the New Forest, why I am so gutted when I made videos like Welcome to Southampton. Remember, Welcome to Southampton was made in 2023. And we shot it between February and April 2023. So it's old news now. The Dolphin Hotel that we did that has been sold. Whatever hotels there are now, they've moved. But more to the point, the people that I was worried about coming to the New Forest are here. And I need to go through the videos, but some of you who've watched for years will remember that for years I've been filming down here. And the first year I came down here, there was nothing to film except the sunshine. Next year I came down, there was Mustafa down the beach, all on their mobiles, talking to the next guy along who's on his mobile, talking to the next guy along on his mobile, whether that was drug deals or whatever. And the woman all wrapped up in the fucking body bag, and the kids would be sat by the water. And I was like, what is going on? And then that area I was just pointing out that was for barbecues was constantly rented by Muslims, which is why it's interesting that it's not here. And you would, and it was obvious you were not invited. I mean, obviously you weren't invited, but what I mean is there was an aggression coming out. By the way, there's a couple of Muslims that live in this area. It's not Takia. They're fucking brilliant. They, mind you, I sat and talked to them about it, and I said to them, what, because I did say about Takia at first, I said, why don't you have these beliefs? Like, your dad and that must have them. And they're like, yeah, probably does. But the way they put it down, they said that you've got Christians that don't really practice, haven't you? I said, yeah. And he said, it's a bit embarrassing for me because I'm expected to know. And he said, my family would expect me to know. And he said, but I don't, I don't practice it. I'm not really interested. He said, but do you know what happens if I say that I'm an atheist, basically? And I said, yeah, I do. I said, Dad, you're going to be stoned. He said, no, but he said, I will be ostracized from people and that. He said, so he said, and it's family stuff. He said, but no, he said, I don't really know. So, and you can tell he's embraced the Western life completely. And he's no threat to anybody because he's a Westerner. He's embraced the Western culture fully. And I've seen him here years now, and he's only become more and more part of the culture. Sadly, he's one of few good examples. The rest of them have been aggressively taking over businesses. The sexual crime rates not only have gone up in Southampton, but since Southampton, now in the New Forest. So the Southampton, 250,000 people plus. New Forest, 78,000 people, spread across a lot of places that are spread out from each other, 2 miles away, 4 miles away, sometimes a lot more. Limiton, Lyndhurst, Brockenhurst, Ashurst, just to name a few places that are all cut off from each other. And as a result, a place near where I live, there's only one road in and out of the entire area. There is no other way out. Whoever came down here realized that. And there's roundabouts that I don't know if you'll see, unless you live in a village, you won't know what I mean. But roundabouts that you could, if you put your stride over it, you could stride over the roundabout. I mean, the central part, you could actually put your stride and it would be as big as the center of the roundabout, tiny. But it would go off 3 ways. And since these people have moved down and taken over 50% of the businesses here now, there's been 3 so far incidences of Asian men who have, at these little roundabouts, they realize that they're so small that 2 cars will completely block the roundabout all directions. And that's exactly what they tried to do to women 3 times. I don't know what happened the first. It went very quiet. So maybe there was charges there. I don't know. The second 2 got away. Maybe these people weren't very good at it. Maybe they hadn't done it before. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because they know their area better. But the second 2 women got away. They just reversed out, got the hell out of there. But they tried to block them in. And like I said, the sexual crime rates. And then last night I was walking home. And again, if you're in London and you hear foreign languages, it's not unusual. But when it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're in a place like this and you hear 2 people, 2 Pakistani men walking down the road whispering whatever language they were speaking, it is disconcerting because it's not normal for around here. But I have still tried to not react just because it's not about someone's colour of skin. It's about that I'm looking around and I'm going, okay, so the number of black people in the area has risen maybe 2 or 3%. And I'll tell you something, black people in this area are not an issue. Black people in this area are the same as white people. They get involved, they're on with the jobs, they're into the culture. The Polish people that have come here, same thing. Don't get me wrong, we had no black people, we had no Polish people. It wasn't like that before. But those people have come here, and I'm against the immigration. But if I can't stop it, I would at least settle for what I've got, which is the Polish people that are supporting the English football teams and really are really embracing the culture, and the black people that are exactly the same thing, and they're not from fucking Somalia. They are proper English speaking black people, So to me, no issue. except for the massive demographic change around here. But they're just a few percent. The largest percent by far is the Pakistani Muslims. I would say, and I'm taking guesses with numbers here, but I would say that they are something between 80 and 90% of the new arrivals that we've got here. And they are the only ones taking over businesses. They're the only ones who have shown any kind of aggression. And when they're not in the driving seat, which is a lot of places around here still, so there's a lot of places that are still very quiet and still very quaint, but they are protected by the people that live there. In those places, these people are very, very quiet. The Muslims are very quiet. They work in the back of the shops that they own, and they will barely speak to the locals. They will barely acknowledge them. They're not in a position of power, but they will be. And when they're in a position of power, that dynamic will change, and then they will start speaking to people however the hell they want. In other places where, if you the further north you go, as you start to go into Southampton, that changes, and then people will walk around with a swagger, and then when you get to Southampton, it's we're going to replace you. So and so there's so many people. Tommy said this years ago. You're living out in your little fucking, you know, rural place, or you're living in your middle class house, and you think it's never going to come to you. It's not a real issue. It's like people around here used to think like this, and I put in my title what I've put because I have been trying to report this for the last, what has it been now? I took a year off, so 6 months, so 5 years. I've been coming down here and reporting the demographic changes, the cultural changes, which were the most significant thing to me. Having the drug dealers all the way along the beach, the sexual crime rates and stuff like that. I mean, it was unacceptable, and there was a clear correlation, very, very clear correlation. In fact, the police even said they weren't surprised, but it was shocking. That was their quote. And come on, darling, you just have to be careful. Yeah, come on then. Oh no, I've left. Hang on, let me grab this. And so I'm at this beach now, and it feels like I'm being. If I can try and demonstrate, it feels like I'm being to get some England, to get some England summer, which we're at the beginning of a beautiful British summer, and it's, by the way, all the sunshine early. Every year I've ever known it be nice this early, it's turned to shit by before the end of May or beginning of June, and it's been weeks before it recovered. So I wouldn't get too excited yet. Just being realistic. But anyway, yeah, look, you see there. So I'm this is literally as far south as you can go on land, unless you're prepared to go to the Isle of Wight. Yeah, that is the Isle of Wight. That's not another piece of England. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. It's not attached. That's the Isle of Wight. So this is as far south as I can get. My point is, this is as far as I can run. This is as far as I can run from them. I tried to tell you ages ago that they were coming to Southampton. I tried to beg people to come to Southampton. Finally, Nick Tenconi did, and I love him for that. But the fact of it is, so much of it feels too little, too late. Too little, too late. Because the fact of it is, not only did they get into Southampton, but they got into a place called Hythe I told you about. They've had to shut down the Hythe ferry now. The place that stops. You drive from the city of Southampton all the way around the New Forest to a place called Hythe. It's a long drive, and a lot of people won't do it if they don't need to. But they used to hop across on this thing called the Hythe ferry. It would cut that journey into 12 minutes. And that's where they were sending the kids past the Muslims and Muslims past the kids. Mysteriously, that ferry is now not working. A ferry on a crossing that has been active for 300 to 500 years as a trade route has suddenly come to a stop. I've got no proof of anything. All I'm saying is a trade route that has been open for 300 to 500 years is suddenly no longer open. And it's the same one I was telling you. The kids are getting massacred coming over this way. There's no proof in that. But doesn't it make you think? And it definitely makes me think, well, not just a welcome to Southampton too, but maybe it's past that. They've gone past Southampton. They're in the New Forest. They are now making in routes to the Isle of Wight, and people don't know what they're going to lose if they get over the Isle of Wight. It's literally the last unplaced touch gone. And I'm sitting here feeling like I'm in the sunset of my own existence, sunset of the existence of the people I love, and the sunset of the existence of looking around and seeing some of the old traditions that are already being hacked down by chainsaw by our own people, by the way, so that we can make space for more multicultural purposes. I'm not joking, by the way. So I'm not joking, by the way. That's happening here now. That's why that space has gone over. That's why things are changing up here. That's why I'm showing you this place now. Why I'm talking up here now, I can. Because people think, oh, we're all dramatic about it and everything else. It's taken me 6 years to fully film what's going on, talk to you guys about it. So I just realized chat's not on. Talk to you guys about it, show you it, and still come to terms with myself as whether I had something to be grieved about. Until the point where I'm hanging on to the very last edge of land, thinking, Jesus Christ, what have we done? What have we done? But I was screaming from 2019 or 2020, one of those 2 years till now. Please come down. Please help me stop this. Please, blah, blah, blah. And like I say, this year, Nick Tinconi came down, which I'm grateful for him for. No criticism to him, but it just feels all too little too late. You know, it's like this place has always been a voter of conservatives and stuff like that. And yet the lefties are prevalent everywhere. I mean, the far left, they are everywhere. It's strange. A conservative voting place full of far leftists. It's really odd. It's a weird dynamic. You got massive rich poor divide here. Maybe one of the biggest in the country. See, come here, girl. Maybe one of the biggest in the country. This is a really bad place to do. Come here, to do a podcast. I might have to give this up in a minute because I am using every fucking ounce of energy to concentrate with all the distractions going on. I don't know what's happening here today, but nothing bad, by the way. Nothing negative. It's just really hard to do a podcast. I might have to do to be continued on this. Unfortunately, there is no escaping the inevitable unless people are able to hear. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, and it's getting to me. It's getting to me, man. And it's getting to me because, like I say, I've screamed for help. Then Nick Tinconi's come down and shown what I've been trying to show people. I made Welcome to Southampton, a video that wasn't easy to make. In fact, it screwed me up making that because it doesn't matter why. And then no action from people, none. But they will go to London and demonstrate after Southampton's been lost. They'll demonstrate that. How do I put this? A line from the Avengers. Well, then, we may not be able to defend it, but we're damn sure avenge it. Well, we don't want this place to be avenged. I want it to be fucking preserved. That's the problem. And I don't know. I don't know what I've got to do. I really don't. And the worst of it is, as I've tried to say a million times before, they are not prepared for us down here. I said that back in 2020. I proved it in 2023. We proved it again in 2025 with when the demos that we've done. The police are the best police we had was in Bournemouth because they were all over us and they didn't create any gaps in the line. The others were fucking useless. I was walking in and out of the lines, not to cause trouble, to prove that if I wanted to, I could have gone and punched the left straight in the back of the head. But I knew they would be like that. I'm not criticising them. They're not used to the way it is in London, which meant that we could have had our way with them. And I don't mean bully them. What I mean is we could have gone to places like the BBC, places like we would normally get stopped from or we would get kettled. That wouldn't happen here. Not for much longer time. We would have our way for a lot longer. By the time they started to get that kind of strategy together, we'd be out. So it's like, but people instead just insist on keep going to London. Do you know why? Because they just got to lean against the wall and film and watch what happens. Lazy fucking journalism. Yeah. Whereas you got to do something like this. You may not have the numbers. You may not look as popular. You may do what I'm doing, piss in the wind. And it may be embarrassing and humiliating when nobody even goes to the other fucking channel you've opened up for them because they've asked you to stay on YouTube and you've opened up another channel and then they won't go over to it because they can't be bothered. And there's no other reason. No, there is one other reason. Some people aren't getting the message, actually. Let me just take that back. Some aren't getting the message because it's not getting out properly. But you get my point. And so I'm doing the best I can. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's at the same time, like I say, I've got so much credit. This is the bit that gets me. If people just dismiss me as being useless, that's fine. But the credit that I got for Welcome to Southampton, The credit that I got for the work behind the scenes that I did over there was unbelievable. It opened up doors for me that weren't open even when I was working with Tommy. It opened up things. I can't say on here, but it opened up a lot to me, and it opened up because I pioneered something. And what was the point if nobody is acting on it? You know? Do you know what I'm saying? So you've pioneered something, you've shown something that nobody else in the country has shown, and that is Southampton's underbelly. And then, you know, and it's like that. By the way, before you think, oh yeah, well, Tom, it's been on your channel, you probably got 1,000 views. What do you expect? True, and I would go along with you with that, but I released it for Urban Scoop and The Voice of Wales. It's been seen by anything up to 100,000 people, maybe more by now. So it's not the numbers thing. It's not a me thing, because people, well, I'm not saying they would follow me. People don't seem to have a genuine problem with me. It's an apathy thing. It's an apathy thing, half the time. And a lot of the time these days, because there's so many demos called, and because it's so expensive to get to them, people want to go to the star-driven demos. But what I'm noticing is that the people who really mean it, the Danny Roscoes, the me's, the Gingers, all of these people, you may not have heard of what some of us are doing at the moment. It's because we're doing demos more locally as well as other stuff. We're doing work more locally as well as other stuff. Because how can you walk over? How can you step over the homeless man in your own on your own front lawn, whilst then going to London and demonstrating in London? Doesn't make any sense. So all of us are trying to do stuff locally as well as nationally. And that's why you're seeing less of us, but it's because we realised we've got to clean up our own doorstep. There's no point cleaning up London's when you know it's a losing battle when you're not doing your own. So we're all trying to do our bit. So you may think we're not, and I understand if you don't think we're doing a lot. It probably looks like that, but I know for a fact, Ginger, Danny, in fact, a lot of, I probably could count about 20 people are all working on projects, either locally or things that you'll probably see coming up in the near future. You've got Laudits out there doing an amazing job, you know. But as I look around, I just wonder if this is the sunset of the life I've known here for about 47 years. Because it feels like it. And not because I'm in a bad mood or depressive or anything else. As I said, I've been filming it every year. And it got to the point where I thought maybe it was going to slow down. And then, like I say, after they started getting pushed over from Southampton to here, the area is now changing so rapidly that I don't know what it's going to look like in 10 years. I don't know if it's going to be 50-50 in 10 years, maybe even 5. It's that rapid. Don't forget, 78,000 people spread over a massive area. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. What I will tell you is this: there's going to be clashes, because there are some people here that are just fish out of water. When I say that we were born colorblind here, we were. But that means that we don't understand. A lot of people here don't understand when someone's being racist to them. Like if a black person's racist to them, or if an Indian person's racist, they wouldn't realize it at first. But when they do, oh my God, the reaction will be catastrophic. Especially with the travellers here and that as well. The travellers here have enough of their own, what's the word? Not racism, but that kind of thing, prejudice to deal with. So if anybody else brings any down on them, they will have enough as well. So it's becoming a tinderbox. And I even know someone who has accepted someone here illegally and had a baby with her. Someone who comes from a long, long family of Brits who should know better. And I am finding it hard to talk to him with everything, because he knows everything that's going on. But for his penis, he's helped facilitate, not get them into the country, but he's helped facilitate them staying here. They've got no right to be here. They've got no right to be here. And these people, I don't know if you've seen these reports, these people are saying, I should be allowed to stay in the country because I've never committed a crime, blah, blah, blah. What? You've never committed a crime? Did you not come here illegally? Right. So the very, very first thing that you did was you made yourself a criminal coming into this country by coming in a legal way, an illegal method, and you jumped the queue. So you were a criminal the moment you entered the country. So let's not have any of this. Oh, I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't robbed anybody. I haven't raped anybody. Oh, bully for you, nor should you have. But you did commit a crime by coming in the country where you should have applied like everybody else. So no, you don't get to come in. Fuck off. Send them back. And now you've got, right before you had Nick Tinconi saying mass deportations. Now I'm seeing it in places that didn't say, well, I saw it something last night and I wanted to tell you. Just bear with me. I saw mass deportations raised by someone I've never, or somewhere I'd never seen it before. I couldn't believe it. Damn. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to go back home and do my research. But you know, we're like that. You know, normally it's sometimes Farage, it's UKIP and a few other major figures, but this came from somewhere much more vanilla, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought, oh my god, the mass deportation thing is now not being treated like someone's throwing acid in your face. No, I think what it was, I think that was it. There was people of color. There was people of color with the mass deportation signs. That was it. Yes, that was it. And they were on our side. They want them out as well. And a lot of them based on safety. So that was encouraging. But yeah, and this is why I refuse to treat anybody of color as my fucking enemy, because I'll tell you what, I think we're going to need people like black people and that to have our backs, because they're the only people that give a shit about us at the moment. Not the ones on the left, admittedly, but everybody else, they're the only ones that give a shit about us. There's an anti-white fucking campaign out there. And I think it's going to be people like black people and other people that we've helped and that we get on with who are going to be helping defend us. Because when you've got like that, the old fart in the Channel 4 studio, I don't know if he's still there, showing a place in London and going, oh my God, look at all those white people stood together. What the fuck? In a white country, look at all those white people standing together. I wish I could remember what that post was where they said mass immigrations. It was in Europe as well. Oh, that was it as well. People in Europe. Who was it in Europe now asking for mass deportations? Who is it, guys? Greece. Greece. I saw a speech from from a Greek MEP. She made a brilliant speech about mass deportations, about the fact that Europe had let these people in, destroyed the culture, destroyed the people. She went on one, but everything she said was perfect. She was going about mass deportations. It's now infected the politics of Europe, the European Union, which is fantastic. So yeah, she was ripping into them about mass deportations and what they'd done, and they needed to undo it. And I agree with it totally. So you've got people trying to fight it. But again, when you had the Conservatives in control, people are supposed to be against it. You knew you were in the shit. But now you got Starmer in control. He literally looked you in the face and said to you, yeah, rape gangs, I will literally make my MPs run away before. I will get my MPs put their fingers in their ears and go, la, 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 before they will listen. And that's pretty much what they did. They ran off. They ran away. Physically ran. So they didn't have to hear anything about it. And he said, oh, yeah, I've taken on board what you said about, having too many people in the country. But I've decided we need them. We need the money they bring in. You need the money illegal people bring into the country. So that's okay then. So they're not really illegal. Nobody sees the word illegal. Have you noticed? Nobody sees the word illegal. It's bad enough the legal immigration, which is crazy, but nobody sees the word illegal before immigration. And it's like, that's crazy to me. So they're going, oh, these people never broke a law. Yeah, they did. They're criminals. They're fucking criminals. I'll tell you what, Australia proved it. If you treat criminals like criminals, they won't come back. And they won't go and tell their friends to come over, and guess what? They'll stop coming. It's weird. There's no rocket science to this. This is all, once again, about fucking feelings. Oh, we feel sorry for the migrants that were come from like Kuwait, rich country, put themselves on the dinghy, and most of them come across without any issues whatsoever. A couple of them sink. Whose fault's that? Don't tell me it's because they were fleeing poverty and war, or in Kuwait. In Kuwait in 2023, one of the richest countries in the world. No, the guy just came over because he wanted to. People are just coming over because they want to, and men are fighting age. Let's just stop the bullshit. Yeah, because what's happening is they're using all this to make people feel sorry for them. I'll tell you what, when I see a migrant boat go over in the sea, I'll be honest with you, there was a time when I used to feel a bit bad because of the children. But because of the way the government have handled things, because of the way the media have handled things, because of the way people have handled things, I couldn't give two fucks anymore. And that feels like it's robbed a bit of my humanity away, because I always care about anybody getting hurt normally. But they've made me hate them so much for getting away with it, and made me hate it so much that I don't send them back. But every time one capsizes, I think, well, that's one less boat of people we're going to have to come in the country. I know how I sound. That makes me feel terrible, really. That makes me an awful person, and I know it. But I'll be honest with you, if they put me on a gun turret to shoot them down, I think I would. They're invading our country. So fuck me, I'll sit and shoot at them all day. Because they're coming here to do the same thing to us. Just people don't realize it. They're being so fucking dumb and so naive. And also in the same breath, I don't blame people, because we've become very trusting in this country and we have become so welcoming. But wake the fuck up. They're coming here to hurt you. And the only reason they're coming on dinghies instead of warships, one, because they can't afford them, but two, is because they know you're not going to shoot. You think they would stop coming if you put guns on there? Yeah, maybe the way that they are, but they would be sneaking into this country by those lorries more than ever. They're determined to come here, like the Rwandans. Everybody at the moment is in shock. How come David Rudy Cabana has managed to be in a position of burning someone's face, and he's showing no remorse? We told you back at the time, remorse is not on his emotional scale. He is going to be embarrassed, humiliated that he didn't kill enough people. That's the culture. He needs to have killed 10 times more people to be a success. He's got to make up for that in prison. It's not about survival. He's got to fuck people up. That's what he's been sent to Britain to do. For political reasons, by the way. And also, with all this happening, if he winds up dead, you won't question it. But all of this is just a clusterfuck. And I know, I realise I'm going from subject to subject. I do apologise, because I am skipping around. 2003, I was living in Luton. I could see the change creeping and moved back to the South Coast. And now my sights are moving to Hungary. Seriously, don't think things will improve in the UK, sadly. And this is the thing. I wanted to be down the South Coast. This is where I wanted to be. But I am myself thinking I need to be somewhere else. And the biggest issue we have now is Davos puppets running the show, who are delighting in punishment for the UK over Brexit. Until that changes, nothing will change. Yet that, and the fact that I think that our entire movement, whether it's deliberate, accident, whether it's just the amount of political correctness that's been thrown at us, and maybe it was impossible to be impervious to it all, but our movement, I feel, is moving left. Now, I'm not saying it's gone far left or anything like that, nothing crazy, but our movement is going slightly left. I'm not saying it's going left wing, but I'm saying it's moving leftwards. And I feel that's because they've made us care about what we say more. Feelings are more important than they should be. It's all, not all of it, but some of the stuff is translating to our side. And as a result, you've got people getting butthurt a lot more easy. You've got people reacting a certain way. And when they're offended, you're supposed to jump around them like, oh, sorry, even if you're right. What is going on? Something's happening on our side. And I don't know if we're being guided left by bad actors, or if it's just something that's happened as an accident. But I do tell you this, it's not good. Not when we're beginning to win certain battles, right-wing battles. I don't know. I don't know where we're headed. Honestly, I think you might be right about just getting the fuck out. Simply because I ain't got that long left to live anyway, so I might as well live out my life in peace. Once I've fought for everything I can fight for here. But yeah, it's sad. So I'm a bit cold here now. See what I mean? It's not quite summer yet. It's an easterly wind, so it's just a little bit cold. But I need to get in the sunshine. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to do. This isn't really what I planned to do. Come down here. I wanted to go. The camera fucked me off earlier on, and I wanted to go in the studio. We are in the studio, but I wanted to put a link in and blah blah blah. But we've got the hotspot. People were going everywhere. I've got the dog with me, so it's just not the right time. If I get the time, I might do a live from the brick studio. I've also got something coming on the way as well, which should mean I'll be able to do a podcast from anywhere at high quality, hopefully. But I don't want to talk about that until it's here. That mixed with the next bit of tech I get, hopefully will give me the ability to do to go anywhere and get out anywhere and never have the problem with getting out again, hopefully. So that's good. So yeah, it's beyond left. We are now under Marxist, socialist, globalist takeover. All of us, even the people who are supposed to be fighting for us. Some of them don't know it. I don't know. Some of them do. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we can avoid going that way, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like to predict the future because things can change, and I do tend to see. Again, when you say the future, people think you're talking about seeing into the future. I mean the logical futures that can come up, and often I can be right about it, and I've been a lot of the time. But at the moment, I feel like it's a bit clouded because, yeah, I feel like there's two forces against each other, and it's kind of like as one force loses ground that we've been waiting for it to do, another one, I don't know, and another one's pushing us left. So it's like I just don't know. It's that constant fish eating its tail feeling that I've always had. I really don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I've said any of the things I really wanted to. I don't know if I've got anywhere, but again, I'm broadcasting today on X, on YouTube, and on the other YouTube channel. We are struggling a bit for numbers, but I don't mind a day like today because it's a bit clusterfuck of a podcast, to be honest. But like I say, I can't wait to get my next gadget because then we can have a bit of fun. But so I'm trying to think what to do in terms of later. We'll see what happens later. I don't want to make any promises because there's every possibility something goes wrong and I can't broadcast later. So, like I say, with the next few days, I should get a delivery. And when I do, I will let you know. And yeah, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, I'm just doing these as and when I can. So I'm sorry if I've jumped around so much, then not made a lot of sense. And I can't show you proof at the moment because this is not this is early summer. It's a weekday, so I can't show you the things. But again, I'm glad I can't because it would have just depressed me today. I'm sick to fucking death of it. I've run here to the coast today to get away from it. Yeah, things have changed even here, even in the untouched places in Britain that have been the same for since before I was born, and they are changing now rapidly. And I honestly am looking around. I'm glad I'm getting old in a way because yeah, it's all going to go, and I'm looking around, taking it in for the last few times because it is going to go. It's already going. So don't get me wrong. There are victories being won and there are battles being won, but it reminds me of a book series I read once. You know, you can get the victory, but you know you could lose some major fucking places, battles, and culture wars on the way. And I feel like that's what's happening. Anyway, that's my little fucking soapbox. Thanks for coming on with me. I'm sorry we're not getting out to very many people. It's a mixture of things. Where I am, I mean, I'm right on the south coast, so you're right on the edge of one signal area and not quite enough to the other area. Also, as well, the confusion with the channels. Look, please go to my other YouTube channel at Tom's Generation X. All one word. Please go to the other channel. It's got about 183 people on it at the moment. It needs 1,000. This channel, the channel, if Share the Risk, if you're watching there, is fucked. It's fucked. And as a result, so am I. I need people on the other channel. If they don't go to the other channel, I'm gonna have to abort YouTube. And I don't want to. I'm doing everything I can. As you guys know, I have fought to stay on YouTube. Look at that cloud over there. You see that? Can you see that properly? If you can, that cloud's called Pilius. I would tell you the mechanism of it, but if I do, there'll be about 1,800 people on it go, no, 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 there's a weather conspiracy theory, so I'm not even going to bother. But there's a specific reason why that cloud happens. And it's beautiful because it lasts for about 5 minutes and then it's gone. Oh shit, sorry. And then it's gone. So it's a beautiful cloud, but it's very, very short lasting. And thunderstorms trying to come up over there as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna get off. Have a great day, Tom. Everyone stay safe. Oh, thank you. Cheers. And again, I'm sorry we're not getting out, but again, it's to be expected at the moment. But please get over that other channel, Tom's Generation X, or on Twitter at Share the Risk. The numbers there on Twitter, sorry, X, when I make a lot of effort. And they would be there on YouTube if people come over. That's the thing. The numbers are already higher than they should be for the channel of the size it's on with the few videos. But I am releasing videos exclusively over there already. That's where I've got to be. That channel either sinks or swims. So, in order for it to swim, I need your help. Please, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. I'll catch you soon. Take care, everyone. Oh, hang on. I am Tom Fury. Actually, before I just go disappearing off, let me just have a look. It's been a while since I've had a proper little lookies. Oh, fuck. Hang on a minute. Perhaps this isn't the right time after all. Oh, no. I know. This is shit. Shit doing it on a phone. I'll tell you that. It's really not good doing it on a phone. Not as fun. Yeah, I can't wait for my next gadget to turn up. That's going to be awesome. Right, I'll catch you soon. Tom Fury, call it a day for now.